A city with hardly any famous fast food chains, Chania in Crete has preserved many of its traditional foods. In fact, McDonald's even shut down because the locals preferred their own food, such as souvlaki. Chania is a city on the northwestern coast of the Greek island Crete. It's gone through 7 layers of civilization. Today, I'm here with Alma de Creta and I'm excited to be going on a street food tour to taste the best that Chania has to offer, including their famous Mizitra cheese that they can't export and even blue honey. I'll share the locals' tips on what to try and where's best to try them.
We're meeting here at a famous spot called Bougatsa in Chania.
A family-run business from the 1920s. Now there's only 2 bakeries in Chania that specialise in Bougatsa, and this is a more traditional one. The more modern cafe has Bougatsa with cream. It was at Bougatsa Chania that we met our guide for the day, Antonis. He shared his nostalgia as, like many locals, he used to wait for his grandfather to bring Bougatsa home on the weekends. We put sugar and cinnamon on top, which the Greeks who used to live in what we now know as modern-day Istanbul brought with them to Crete.
So this was originally from Istanbul. Where are you from in the US?
So cheesy.
I'm down in the Littleton area, Centennial actually.
So cheesy, I was not expecting that.
But I spent 2.
We washed it down with some Greek coffee or Turkish coffee depending on who's asking.
It's
Very
No, it's
probable that it came from Turkey.
I bet people here don't like you saying that.
I know, but I don't think.
And Cretan mountain herb tea called malotera, which grows at high altitude and has many healing properties. I flipped my coffee cup to try and tell my fortune. It wasn't saying so much. What do you think?
Historical detail.
What I'd never find on my own is a street a few blocks away where you can see their kitchen and watch how they make it. You have to get here early though, as Bougatsa Chania closes at 2 p.m. There's a whole art to making Bougatsa, and it's been made generation after generation in this family. The dough is tossed in the air to make the layer of pastry very thin. You could even see the marble worktop through the pastry. It's made with Mizitra cheese, a mix of goat and sheep milk. It's very famous all over Crete, but extremely sensitive. It's not exported, as after only just 2 to 3 days, this cheese spoils, so it's pretty unique to Crete. You'll soon realize in this video just how many uses this cheese has. Each Bougatsa is weighed with these old scales so that they're the perfect weight.
Next up is the supermarket.
Next up, we went to the local supermarket to try an even older traditional Cretan breakfast with cheese, pastorami, olives and croutons. Mizitra cheese was used here again, as well as another type of cheese called graviera. We tried graviera, made from a mix of sheep and goat's milk, and another one made entirely from goat's milk. The supermarket even had different types of graviera mixed with chili peppers and thyme.
I love cheese. The Mizitra cheese is the best one. It's so creamy and you can't find that in other places.
The olives we tried were all prepared in different ways. Some soaked in salt, others in lemon or vinegar, and then finally dried.
The brown olives are so salty. I prefer the green ones. These ones are lovely. What do you think?
You have to go.
Next, we walked down to a bakery that makes pies filled with seasonal herbs, Mizitra cheese, lamb and onions. The herb-based pies are nearly always filled with fennel, a wild herb grown all over Crete.
First one. The cheese is so good. The next one. My favorite. So soft. Reminds me a bit of some Iranian herbs. It's like parsley, I think. Really good. This one looks like good cheese. Okay, this is my favorite. So I'm not much of a pie person, but I actually really like those and I would eat them again. I think my favorite was the cheese one. It was so creamy, and that's the cheese that's local to here. You can't find it anywhere else. In terms of the herb one, I also love that one because it reminds me a lot of the Iranian herbs we use in our cooking. And the herbs they use, they're seasonal, so they change all the time.
After this, we went to try samples of olive oil. traditionally the only type of oil used for cooking on the island. The first one we tried had a bit of a kick to it at the end.
This one's a bit bitter. My eyes are watering.
We got to try some honey after this, and even a special blue honey that's exclusive to Chania.
I've never seen blue honey before. It kind of matches my top. Very sweet. Very sweet, wow.
The blue color comes from a blue algae called spirulina. When you think of Greek food, chances are that gyros is the first thing that comes to mind. This dish is known worldwide and is made of thinly sliced rotisserie meat, vegetables and fried potatoes wrapped in bread. For our next stop, we went to the harbour front and sat with a beautiful view of the old lighthouse to try a dessert called Sfakionopita. It's similar to the Bougatsa pastry we tried earlier, but the soft mazitra cheese gets kneaded into the dough and rolled out into a thin pancake shape. The recipe originated in Sfakia village and now it's famous all over Crete and Greece.
Less cheesy taste than Bougatsa. So Antonis recommended the best and maybe the only fresh herb shop in Chania. Antonis knew that I was looking to get some souvenirs for my family and friends back home. So I'm going to go back there today because yesterday it was very busy, there was not enough time.
It's the only shop with wild herbs in Chania. This mixer is for tzatziki. It contains granule garlic, dill and pepper.
So what's in this
That's
one?
a mixture for Greek salad, for barbecue, for feta, for pizza. You can marinate meat from the day before. There is no salt inside. It contains oregano, thyme, rosemary, cultivated marjoram, not the wild one. The wild one is for tea, basil and parsley.
Wow, what a mix!
Okay? These come from Crete, all of them.
I bought some tzatziki herbs and I also bought some herbs for Greek salads and some thyme.
A special thank you to Alma de Creta for such a wonderful and authentic experience. I definitely wouldn't have been able to find a lot of these local spots on my own or know what was best to order. I'll leave details below if you want to join their food and city tour.